Hey everyone, it is Elle, and today we're going to read about Kylee Monteiro. Now, she's the young girl who was pregnant. I think she's about 11 weeks pregnant now, and disappeared in Massachusetts. She had been staying the night at her boyfriend's house. I think she may have been living with him at that time. Sounded like she'd been in a couple different places, stayed at her sister's house, stayed at a place for unwed mothers for a little while, and then I think she may have been staying with her boyfriend. Either way, that night she was with him. He acknowledges that they did get in a fight, which is never good because we see that scenario again and again and again. They got in a fight and then the woman disappeared. Let's hope that's not the scenario here, in the sense of he had something to do with it. People are speculating, of course, because he was the last person to be seen with her, and that is always going to cause speculation. So he says he got up the next morning and she was gone. And they've been searching for her since August 7th. And no one can find her anywhere. There's a reservoir by his house, which they've been searching and have not found her. Now we'll find out if she's in water, because that will be one thing that'll pop through if she is. And then they've also been searching some woods that are in the area close to where she disappeared. So we're going to ask about, is she in those woods? Then we'll ask our normal questions. Is it foul play? Is it suicide? Did she leave on her own? Was it a natural passing or an accident? Those are the 5 things that really are the things that people disappear because of. So with that said, we're going to read about 18-year-old Kylee Monteiro. Hope for the best here and see what the cards say. I'm just going to focus on her for a second. And we're going to start with foul play and just ask our 5 ways of disappearing. All right, so for foul play, I'm going to see what we get here. This is the 8 of Wands. That's a lot of communication and things happening very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. So it's not a, hard core foul play card, but it does say this happened very, very fast. So we will take another card on foul play. I'm going to read the others and maybe pop back to foul play and see if any of the others really stand out stronger. Suicide. We're reading about suicide right now. Suicide. Was it a suicide? Well, this is the Empress. That's a pregnant mother. It's not necessarily a suicide card at all. I think what it's playing on is things happen very quickly to this pregnant mother, which is popping me back to the foul play card. But we'll read a little bit more. This is, did she leave on her own? Disappeared on her own, as in that's the way she went missing. She decided to disappear. Some people do this, go create new lives. No, she didn't, because that is the Hanged Man, and what the Hanged Man means is she did not take that step forward. This person cannot even move. So no, she didn't make that move forward, because the Hanged Man's telling me no. Okay, so we know that didn't happen. Natural passing. Did she pass naturally? Sometimes people are out on a walk, they have a heart attack or something, and they're found, a month later. Terrible situation, but it does happen. So that's why I throw this in. No, again, it's popping me back to somebody she knew. So it happened very quickly to the pregnant mother, and it was somebody she knew. Now, these two could be considered a couple, could be considered friends, but someone she knew was involved in this, is what I see. And then we'll ask for an accident. An accident. Was this an accident? Well, this concerns me, this card. It's somebody that has kind of, unfortunately is resting on a coffin. So that makes me worried when I've got this whole scenario before me. Happened very quickly to a pregnant mother. She didn't leave on her own. Somebody she knew was involved, and this is the final outcome. Somebody resting on a coffin. And up here in the corner, you know, so interesting, is a mother and child figurines, mother and child. So, you know, and then we have the symbolism of mother and child and a coffin. I don't love what I'm seeing to start this reading. Don't love it. I am popping back to foul play as very much possibly being the antagonist here to what went on. I'm going to ask about foul play a little bit more. Tell me more about foul play. More about foul play. Okay, so when I get foul play, that is the star card. That does, the star is a very strong, loud, you know, she's got 1 foot on the land, 1 foot in the water, and it's a card that really draws your attention, and it's really pulling me to, you know, unfortunately, foul play as being the one that stands out of these 5 that I asked about. It is sounding, this isn't the typical foul plays and what have you cards that I get, but it's like pulling me in that direction. So we're just going to ask what happened. Let's see what happened with Kylee. What happened with Kylee here? What happened with Kylee? Okay. Now we have a card of, it's telling me look in the water. Look in the water. This is a standard look in the water, 3 of Wands. It's a guy, and you can't really tell this is water back here, but it is. You can see a little ship back there. And he's looking out into the water. So we've moved on to like, look in the water now. I'm going to ask if somebody else was involved here. Was someone else involved? Was someone else involved in Kylie's disappearance? That is a definite yes card. That's my Ace of Swords. I do feel like she's going to probably be found too when this card pops up. That's a very good card for showing me that the person's going to be found, that it's, the case is going to be solved and law enforcement will solve it. So it does look like somebody else was involved. And we saw that earlier. We saw some involvement with somebody who was close to her, somebody she trusted. Okay, let's just ask who was involved. Man, woman. A lot of the time we get court cards for these that represent people, or something that represents the person. And sometimes I don't know what represents that person as well. People that know that person might know. So the card that I'm getting, so the card that I'm getting is, that's the truth, that's the truth, that's the truth. Unfortunately, what I'm getting is it was somebody she was very close to, somebody she trusted. Yeah. We'll ask for a depiction of the person, a card that represents that person. It's just that Queen of Swords. She's my truth lady. And she tells me, yes, what you think is the truth. I don't know. I don't want to say what I think right now, but it's probably the same as what you think, actually. Okay, a card that depicts the person who did this to Kylee. All right, so we have a Queen of Wands here. We did have a Queen of Swords before. Now we have a Queen of Wands. Now, these are women cards, interestingly. So I will take that into account, that I am getting some women cards here as well. You know, you do have to take that into account. We've got multiple women cards here. Multiple women cards. So what does that mean? We didn't get a suicide. You know, I don't feel like she did this to herself. It looks like somebody she cared about was involved. But I keep getting women. So I'm just going to ask, was it a man or a woman? Was the person involved a woman? Get a card for that, and then we'll compare. Was the person involved a woman? Okay, we'll keep that one. And then we're going to put these cards back, and we're going to ask, or was the person involved a man? Was the person involved a man? You never know. Sometimes you get a case that throws a wrench in your ideas. Was the person involved a man? Okay, so we got that. And then let's pull these over. This was the woman. Okay, and that is the angel card. So that's unfortunately telling me in a 1 foot in the water, and we saw kind of a pull towards look in the water before, or a man. So I see, I do feel it's probably a man, but I can't say that for sure with these cards. What I do feel is the situation may not be good. It may be somebody she was depending on, relying on, that had more power over her in this situation is what I see. Somebody who was taking care of her at the time. And I'll leave it at that for you to figure out who those people were in her life, because it was somebody who was close to her who did this. All right, let's just ask for a clue to know where to go to find her. A clue to know where to go to find Kylee. We haven't got cards that look really promising for her her physical state, you know. I'm hoping maybe she's okay somewhere, but let's see where to find her. Okay, so this is the Sun. It's really an interesting card because it's a child card. The Sun. Sometimes this card has represented people that are a sun, that people call sun or sunny or things like that. Sunshine, sun. I'm just a little concerned about, like, talk to the sun. Talk to the sun. That's what I'm getting. Talk to the sun. Okay. Clue to know where to go, talk to the sun. Closest known landmark to where her personhood body can be found. Closest known landmark to where Kylee can be found. Closest known landmark to where Kylee can be found. It's a ways away from where she was, you know, because here you see the house up here, and then you see, like, the person down here, and the person's, like, really stressed out and worried and, like, wrapped up in their thoughts, or wrapped up, I hate to say it. You know, sometimes people can be wrapped up when people want to get rid of them, and I hate to say that, but that is another interpretation of this card, so I will put it out there. I would love to think it's just her being wrapped up in her thoughts, but being that we saw that she did not leave on her own, I don't think that's the case. And this is a little bit away. Again, we've got 1 foot on the land, 1 foot in the water. We've had that theme multiple times now, so I think it's important to put it out there because we got it in the star card, partial land and part water. We had it here with the Temperance card, part land, part water. And we have it here with this 8 of Swords, part land, part water. Like, she may be in both, on the edge of water, something like that. And that's what I have. All right, let's ask again, closest known landmark. Closest known landmark. What around there would people know? Maybe I don't know it, but would ring a bell with somebody watching this who knows the area to where she can be found. Closest known landmark. Okay, so this is a bunch of people fighting. Going in different directions, trying to, some people say it's like they're all trying to put up a tent, but they're putting things in all different directions. I don't know what landmark they have there that may be like going in all different directions. Like, I don't know, makes me wonder, like a sculpture or something odd like that. It's kind of an odd card, but I'll leave it out there for people who just looks like people going in all different directions. I'm going to ask for another, like, closest known landmark, since that's, to me, a very odd one. So I'm going to ask for something that represents a structure. Okay. So what I'm getting in my head is, you know, like when trees fall down and they're all like, I'm getting like logging or things like that, and they're all going in different directions. Yeah. I'm going to ask for another landmark. Another landmark that's close. Another landmark that is close to her, that people in that area would recognize. Okay, weirdly, again, we got this like timber thing going on. And we had it here with a lot of like wood going in different directions and stuff, and this person's carrying it now, like out. It does make me think logging or something of that nature. Okay. How to find her? How to find her? What would lead to her? How to find her? Weirdly, I'm being drawn to the fish on my table. I have like this table cover and it's got fish on it at one point. And I'm being like pulled over to the fish. How to find her? So this is, obviously this person's looking and some things look promising, but it's not. And some things actually hold something good in them. I feel like there's a lot of different places that people may have to look. The cups do stand for water, but which water source? That's, I think, what it's coming down to. What looks good and promising may not be. It's going to take a lot of looking. A lot of like, you would naturally think it's over here, so it's over there type stuff. Okay, like I'm hearing like don't be fooled by the, it makes sense that she would be here. So where is she? I'm just throwing it out there. Where is she? Where is Kylee? It's like she's not where you think she would be. Where is Kylee? All right, so this is the Hierophant. I'm going to leave this card too for people to kind of make their own interpretations, being that I don't know the area and I've never been around there. The Hierophant could be Catholic related, church related, a place that people go to for religion, spirituality, that sort of thing. It does have kind of the leader, the follower mentality here. So keep that in mind. Again, I don't know what's out there. I don't know where that may be. Seeing the two keys that are crossed. We had a lot of things crossed with these wands that we had and the keys. There's just something about things going in kind of, I feel like, every which way. All right. Is she in the woods by County Street? Because I think that's where they're searching. Is she in the woods by County Street? Is Kylee in the woods by County Street? Well, this is saying there was a plan here, and you got to look really good. I'm hearing in my head, you got to look at maps. Weird. But there was some sort of plan, and you can, and he does have a flashlight, and they are looking at things to find him. So it very well may be that they're saying, like, get the spotlight and look really good there. But there's also something about getting maps. Like, there's things there, you know? Like, look on the map for hidden areas there. I don't know what they've got there, if they've got like any caverns or things like that, but it's giving me those kind of vibes. Okay, is she in the reservoir? Because we did get 1 foot on the land, 1 foot in water again and again. Is she in the reservoir? Is Kylee in the reservoir? Well, this is person by water, and we got the cups, which stand for water, and they're on the edge of the shore by the water. So we've got that like theme multiple times, like they seem to be kind of on land and in water, or sometimes I did get something similar to that when somebody was in a culvert where water passed through, but it was like, it's not in the water necessarily. And sometimes it's dry. It could be something like that. Okay, will she be found? I did see cards that suggested she would be. Will she be found? I think she will, but the Tower is never a good situation to be found in. You know, it's like, you know, these people are falling to their demise, so it's not the card I want to see when I ask, will somebody be found? I do think they will, but I don't think it's going to be a good situation, unfortunately, from what I'm seeing. Okay, I'm going to ask, is there anything else we need to know before we end this reading? Anything else we need to know before we end this reading? Oh, I just heard in my head, will the suspect be caught? So I'll ask that next. But anything else we need to know before we end this reading? Okay, foul play here. That is popping out now strongly. This person is somebody who hurts other people. They've got weapons. The other people have put their weapons down and are walking away because they've been harmed. And this person is like, ha ha ha, I won. So with that said, he feels good about hurting somebody in that moment. You know, he's not a good person in that moment. Okay, let's ask, will the suspect be caught? Will the suspect be caught? I kind of am hearing in my head, you better believe he will. So I think he will. Will the suspect be caught? Unfortunately, here is some sadness, a lot of sadness by the water again. So I want you to pay attention to that. I do see a bridge in the background. I see somebody standing by the water, and I do see them very sad. It doesn't necessarily tell me for sure that he's going to be caught. When I take these two cards together, the one that I just got, the person that's been harmed, and these two are heading towards the water, and then the person who's really upset next to the water, it does give me more of the vibe of, you got to look by that water, either right next to the water or in the water. We did have a card that said look in the water before, but we've got a lot of cards that are like right by the water. Here's a bridge, you know. There's lots of cards pointing us in that direction of that's probably the direction that she is by. Could even be in woods, because we did get some woods cards and all those weird going every which way directions of possible logging or something, or things being stacked up weird, or weird signs. I don't know, sculptures. I'm not sure what that is, but something going in all different directions. I think that's just telling us the situation, that harmed, and then the sadness that goes with that. So let me ask again about the suspect. Tell me about the suspect that did this. And then we'll ask again if he will be caught. Tell me about the suspect who did this. Okay, this person is on the move. So that does tell me possibly, sometimes when I get this card, the person's been moved away from the original location. And we did see that sort of smoke and mirrors type 7 of cups earlier, where it might look good to be there, but that might not be the place. It does suggest that she potentially was moved. And then let me ask, will the suspect be caught? Will the suspect be caught? The person who did this to her. It did look like that earlier. Just looking for some confirmation of that. Will the suspect be caught? Yes. This is my yes card. I always think of these cups as YES. The 3 cups are confirming that it probably will be somewhere around water, close to water, culvert, bridge, something of that nature. Because she does seem to be sort of like on the land and by water, like right by the edge or something. Sorry. Not the greatest reading. Wish it was a better reading, but it's not the greatest reading. And I don't see a great outcome in this one. I was hoping for a better outcome. Maybe I'll be wrong. because sometimes we are wrong. You know, we're good like 85, 90%, the best psychics. So I always say when I get a reading like this, let's hope it's that 10%. So far it has not been though. But I still would like to be wrong in a situation like this. Of course we all would, right? All right, so that is what I got for Kylee Monteiro. Looks like it was somebody she knew and trusted very well. Someone who knew she was pregnant. I'm getting things pointing towards water. Look in the water, look around the water, because I keep getting 1 foot on land, 1 foot in the water. The truth is she will be found. Not seeing in the best state though. I just have to show you what the cards are, or tell you what the cards are telling me. Some sort of landmark that may have to do with logging or things going in all different directions. I feel like trees falling down, something of that nature, as a landmark for what's around where she is. And then I think she may have been moved as well, because we have this Chariot, so that can be a short move or a long move, but she will be found. I do see that. Let me ask how long, like how long from now will she be found? Like, I'm not the best with timing, but sometimes we can get cards that sort of are quick cards or slow cards, like Pentacles are slow cards, Swords fast. Tell us when Kylie's going to be found. Okay, so again, this is a water card, the Moon. Lots of worry. I do have 2 bridges here, and I did see the bridge in another card, so I do wonder about bridges in the area. I might want to look around there by the water, in the water, by land, right around that area. Could happen at night because we do have the Moon here. Just a card of trepidation, worry, and concern, and things not going well. It's kind of mimicking this card, you know, things not going well by the water. We do have the whole instinctual kind of, you know, wolf versus dog, you know, domesticated 1 minute, kind of losing it, and following your impulsive the next. I'll let you decide who may have done that and caused this kind of situation. Does look like somebody she knew, trusted, and I don't like when I see a mother and child up here and then, you know, the coffin. So not the best reading. We also have Temperance, the angel card, you know. On top of that, we've got the Tower, which are kind of telling me things may not have ended up so well. We did get like that sunny sun, look at the sun thing. So I'm just going to leave that with you. I guess it could be figurative, like look at the actual, or literal, look at the actual sun. Where does the sun come up? Is there somewhere over there that there's water right where it comes up? Maybe it's the direction. I will leave you, because doesn't the sun rise in the east, set in the west? I will leave you with all of that, whoever's looking for Kylie. I think it does give you some hints. And best of luck. I'm sure you will find her because I see it in these cards. Take care. Bye-bye.